Okay, good evening, everyone. This is the meeting of the Rutland Town Select Board for Tuesday, January 18th, 2022. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All of our select board members are here in person tonight. We had to have our pictures taken for the town report, so welcome, everybody. Good to see your faces. Well, half of your faces. All right. The orders are being circulated. I think everyone's signed. They're in front of Dawn now. And we won't need to remind anyone to come in and sign them because we're here. Next item is the approval of the select board minutes for January 4th.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion's made to approve and it's been seconded. Any additions, deletions, corrections? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries, and I'm gonna. I've got. Circulate these. Okay. Here you go. All right, next item of business. Is there any member of the public who wishes to be heard but is not otherwise on the agenda? Howard Burgess.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Kari. And Happy New Year. I'm
Happy
here.
New Year. We're going to crank the sound up just a little bit, Howard.
Okay.
Go ahead, try it again.
Can you hear it now?
Now up a little more, Bill, please.
Okay. I can shout.
Okay,
go.
that's better.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm here from Fire District Number 1 to ask the board to appoint a prudential committee member to our membership. We have a 3-member board, and unexpectedly last week, one of our members resigned. And we have an appointee that we would like to have appointed, and it is Rob Del Bianco. Now, I know that the board has the authority to do this through Vermont Statute 20, paragraph 2481, and also the fire district's bylaws, which allows you to appoint it under these situations. The timing is critical for us. We are planning a merger vote with West Rutland to merge our water systems together. And we need to get everything together for a vote on March 1st. Warnings have to be prepared and approved. And it's become a real tight schedule. In fact, tomorrow morning, ideally, we need to warn a meeting to meet with West Rutland and others on Friday. So the schedule is extremely tight, and that's why we are asking the select board to do this, since you have the authority to do it, and it would be a great help to us, if you could appoint Rob as the prudential committee member.
I move that we appoint Rob as a prudential member.
I'll second the motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there discussion?
Was the position made available to other members of the organization? How did you go about choosing Rob?
We were soul searching, calling around, and luckily we twisted Rob's arm enough so that he came on board. No, it was this vacancy occurred a week ago, and it was totally unexpected. And it was just a tough time to really do a whole lot. We didn't have time to do a mailing or anything, but it was a lot of phone calls. And we talked with, I'd say, 4 different people that we were hopeful that we could get one of them. And so that's what it was. I mean, and this is a temporary thing. Actually, when we do our next annual meeting, this election will come up for a vote, and it'll start all over again. So it's really considered a temporary appointment at this point.
I'd like to make an amendment to your motion, Sharon.
Go ahead.
And my amendment would be to your motion that Rob Del Bianco be appointed until the next regular or special meeting of the fire district, so that
sounds
it's
fine.
clear that this is an emergency appointment.
Sure.
Okay, the motion, the amendment has been accepted. It's to appoint Rob Del Bianco until the next regular or special meeting of the fire district.
Left my phone down in my truck.
Any other discussions? Okay. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. You have a new fire district member, Howard.
Well, thank you very much. And I'm sure that Richard Del Bianco will be very thankful for what you did for his son, Rob. It's a good thing, carryover.
He's a good guy.
Yep.
All right. Is there any other member of the public who is not already on the agenda who wishes to be heard tonight? Okay, then we're going to move into the agenda. Walt, Tripp, and Jason Bathalon Town Highway Crew and Water Sewer Department Crew. Welcome. Thanks for taking care of the roads during the great snowstorm that kept continuing, I think.
Yep, we got through it. No major issues. Had a few trees down and did our cleanup today and business as usual.
Okay. Good. Any questions from select board members? I heard a question earlier. You've got your new radio system that's working okay?
Well, we've got the demo unit,
Okay,
which seems to be working. And we've used them quite a bit.
right,
Good.
good. And we have in the packet a request from CVC Two-Way Radio. It is,
Move to approve.
okay, it is a rental and airtime agreement. Monthly amount is $116 a month. Motion's been made
Second.
and seconded. Any discussion? If not, all of those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, it looks like there's one line. Is there any motion to appoint me to authorize me to sign on behalf of the board?
So move.
Second.
Motion's made and seconded. Discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, I'm signing it. All right, anything for, how about water sewer? How are we doing there?
Good, we received the bill from the city on, and what they did. I think, was that involved in the pamphlets too, in the packets, or do you have? that
It's
still?
not here.
Yeah, Jason, would you swing that microphone around so it faces you, please? Thank
Does
you.
that amplify or no? No, that doesn't amplify, so it's not gonna, you just need to speak up.
Yeah, because you got a bunch of old fogies that wear radar.
Don, I'm
so-
gonna turn this off for a minute so you can hear better. Better?
Much better.
So we received a bill for the fixing of a water main on Seward Road. The city came out and I looked at the bill and I thought it was a little bit excessive, but I don't know what our circumstances are or if there's anything, the amount of equipment and personnel to do that seemed quite a bit it's like a $9,300 bill for a day's work, some overtime and stuff. And I didn't know how that's been done. This is the first one I've ever seen. And it's the first one Jason saw, and he was a little staggered by the price. So I don't know if this is normal or if this is something we need to be concerned about, or we just pay them. I haven't seen anything. So I didn't know if there's any
And that came from the,
city. The city maintains all of the infrastructure of water lines in the town. The city maintains those for us under,
They
it
charged us what?
was, I think 9,300. It's all broke down the bill. This comes out of the water sewer account and so, I mean, in the past, I'm assuming we just paid these.
We've always thought they were high, but
Nothing.
got a lot of overhead we don't.
Yeah.
And they were also pretty good about not billing us for water that has gone through the pipe when we've lost it, like down the other end of town. So,
But, and I don't know if we have some kind of formal written agreement for this contract for how they do it.
that. They maintain it and we pay them.
That's the agreement, pretty much. Okay. All right. Well, then I guess we'll forward it
That's the
on.
answer.
All right.
Well, the city loves it that way, so,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah.
So that was about, I think, the only thing you had, wasn't it, Jason? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
If there's nothing else,
Walt brought up, I talked with Walt earlier today. They're having trouble with that waste oil boiler. It doesn't stay on.
really,
Walt's been taking the initiative to go in and make sure it's running. Sunday morning, it was off.
Ooh,
I don't know what the issue is. I know we had problems when the highway garage was first open. Something wasn't wired right. So they've done some stuff, but I don't know if it's something to do with the filtration system for the oil isn't on the machine or whatever. So I don't know if we need to try to find somebody with some expertise and make sure that boiler is sized right for the building. He said it runs a lot.
What about the vendor?
Craig Billings, you first.
Craig put it in,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure how familiar he was with it because after he installed it, it didn't work right. And I think somebody else looked at it that,
And,
I don't know if Johnson Energy looked at it or
no,
no.
it's Fitzgerald, but he didn't do anything different than what we do to it. So,
Yeah.
for the
Um,
cost, I mean, put a new nozzle in it and clean it and it'll run, but it runs 24/7. But like Joey said,
No.
it was off Sunday morning, it was off yesterday morning. But it, went up, if it gone off Saturday, it would have been a little cool in there by
Yeah.
yesterday morning.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we should look into see if we could find somebody that maybe
I know somebody.
that works on waste oil boilers. Cause that's a lot different than a regular boiler.
No,
That,
I'm not talking about a regular boiler. They do, but I don't know about wastewater and I'd be
Wait,
willing
the-
to ask him. And if he can, he would do it for nothing.
well,
well,
that's not the issue is the waste oil burners are different than a regular oil boiler. I was gonna contact Earl's Truck Repair. They have I don't know if it's a similar boiler, but they're using waste oil to heat water for the radiant slab floor.
Can you give me a second to go out there and I'll call that person to see if they have worked on those?
Don't, you have to ask the chair. I'm just talking. She's running the meeting.
this will be after. You can
Okay.
connect with them after.
But
Now, Walt, is all of this, Joe, is this prior or post all of those parts that were ordered that didn't get put in? Have they all been installed?
They haven't been, part of them were, but the ignite, I mean, it's igniting. Okay, but it just doesn't, I think it's just the nozzle gets dirty. You got to take it apart and clean it. I mean, whether the filters aren't enough to clean. I mean, this oil comes from
multiple sources.
everywhere.
Yeah.
So this was an issue that was lingering for a long time. Those parts have been there. They were ordered and they were sitting there for a whole mess of time before any of them were installed, correct? And they all haven't been installed yet?
The only, see, we put new igniters in this fall. Then when Fitzgerald was there, he wanted another set of them, which those haven't put in. But I mean, it starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that there's no oil coming. The nozzle plugs.
Just that nozzle, you got to take it apart and clean the tube that the nozzle goes into. Then it might be okay for a week or 2 hours.
Yeah, and we don't know what's caused, whether that's sediment or something to do with the tanks or, because I know you're getting oil from different
Yeah.
different people that do it and you're hoping it's clean, but do you have any way of, when you pump that out or take it, there's no way to strain it or do anything. It just goes in the whole storage tank and then the
See, there's a
filter system.
in the tank, then another filter before it goes into the furnace.
Okay. I'm
You
just
did
wondering,
know the Burks burned waste oil down at the old Burks garage for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So
but the more efficient they make them, the more temperamental they are. But I was gonna contact Earl's because
So Joey's going to contact Earl.
see who they got
Sharon's
working
gonna
on theirs.
Contact her friend.
Yeah, and we'll see if we
and
can,
we'll
we'll try to
that
get to the bottom of it.
information. Yeah,
'Cause-
to you.
I'm thinking it's something to do with the filtration and that oil must be
That's
dirty,
my thought.
or there's some sediment in that tank from,
That's,
because it's what, how many years now? 4 or 5?
yeah.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
been- Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, but you can't keep running up there. I'm glad you're doing it. And I appreciate the fact that you're taking time to come in and keep an eye on that. But we'll have to get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thanks.
All right. Barbara Noyes Pulling of the Planning Commission is not available. She has a conflicting meeting tonight. I actually spent some time on a Zoom meeting with her earlier today. And if I can find the list she gave me. Yeah, I had too many papers today. What we were on was a discussion of the Pocket Park. We were talking with Green Mountain Power about the next steps to take. One is to draft a memorandum of understanding that will cover our use of their property as well as our own. The Planning Commission will work on a final design, but they've got to have one more public hearing, and then they will work on a final design for some of the features. They will probably phase it in. Then we will proceed from there. The grant that we received to do planning runs out in April, so there is some need to get at least this first phase underway. You'll recall that we did get the survey done. And I did say the planning commission needs to get to the select board some of the design so that you folks know where they are and what they're thinking, at least for the first phase. So more to come on that. We thank Green Mountain Power for their cooperation, and they're pitching in and ready to help. Barbara also had let's see, is it in the packet from Andres for everybody,
No.
Bill? Okay,
I'm sorry. Yes, it's on the desks.
okay,
The map and the emails.
yes.
They're on the desk.
Let's see. The question that this is about Windmere, the progress on the stormwater retention pond, the expansion of it. This has been going on for a while. And there were questions about whether the expanded pond would be in the deer yard. The answer is apparently not. And the project end date is March 31st. So we need to advance the design to 100% and prepare the Act 250 amendment. This is from Andres. So the question is, Andre is sending communicate this message to the homeowners and let me know if you think we need to schedule a Zoom meeting to discuss. So I think that's information for us only. I don't think we need to take any action. So more information. Planning Commission continues to work on our request that they come up with a packet of ordinances we have some out there, and we wanted them to kind of go through and see what they are, update and make recommendations to us. And there was one other thing that escapes me. Bill, do you remember? Okay, well, that's Barbara's Planning Commission report, abbreviated, and I hope I did it justice. Okay, next on the agenda is Ed Dumas, Town Police Chief. And Ted Washburn, Deputy.
Deputy Chief Washington, sir.
Okay,
So, calls for service, our thefts are up pretty high. These are one of the mill cases. Traffic stops are up thanks to our constables. Any questions on any of them?
Yeah, US 7 South, quite a number of thefts and other things there.
Yes.
Select board members, do you have any questions of our town police chief?
Silence. I do have one request is that I talked to Bill because a recent issue we had in the town office is that they could put in a ringer system, so it just rings directly in their office. If we're in there, they can hit like a doorbell
Mhm.
and just get you guys permission to put that in if we can. That way, they have to have an issue out there, or we're in the office here, we'll be able to.
We
come right
talked
out.
about that.
What's that?
I said, we had talked about that quite
Yeah.
a long time ago.
We could
so-
probably put that in as one of the things for the other agenda items that's on the list. Or that would be a good start, I think. Anyways.
Okay,
Move to approve.
Second.
motion's made and seconded. Discussion. If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
And the other issue is because of some recent COVID-19 issues with the state of Vermont and their dispatch at their PSAPs, they are having, they're down in dispatchers anyways, but I guess they're down almost a dozen people. That was last week. And they said if they, at certain times, made it go to what they call level 3, which means that they would only dispatch for state police, not any other municipalities. I took it upon myself to get a hold of other chiefs in the area and see if they had a plan, and they said, we don't have a plan. I spoke to, Ted reached out to Sherling, that deputy, what is his title? Deputy
He's
Safety
the-
Director.
He's the
Anyways,
Commissioner of Public Safety.
yeah, so he's willing to talk to us and work on something as far as Rutland County Dispatch, a PSAP for here. I'm just looking for permission from you folks that Ted and I can kind of like not do anything, but we just want to talk to chiefs, talk to EMTs, talk to fire departments, so we all get on the same page. So something in the future, because within a year, they're going to do away with, they want to do away with statewide dispatching. It's going to be on our shoulders to do it. And right now, nobody's taken upon themselves. I haven't heard anything to dispatch for Rutland County at all. So like I said, I reached out to other chiefs without mentioning names. I don't think the city's interested. Dave Fox, the sheriff, he didn't say no to him, but he didn't say yes either, because it's quite an undertaking. I don't think he's set up to have that many dispatchers anyways, 3 or 4 at a time. So I'm just looking for permission to, like I said, to look into it. And
Do we
maybe-
have a choice?
but not really. No one else is doing it, so I figured we
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, motion's made and seconded to approve the exploration of a countywide dispatch system for emergency services. That's kind of what it was, right?
yeah.
Discussion?
That would seem like the most reasonable thing to do, Ed, you know.
It's
I just-
all we've got because this has been coming for
Yes.
We got a hold of
8 or
Bob
10.
Schlachter, and he had another meeting, so he couldn't make it tonight
Yeah.
to talk further about it.
because there's like 29, 30 fire departments. I don't know how many police
Yeah.
departments and EMS.
EMS too.
Yeah, so you got quite a pool. I mean, it's,
Bob knows County Mutual Aid. So
Yeah.
He's going to be the great resource to tap
Yeah.
into. Right.
yeah. So
Okay. Motion's made and seconded. Any further discussion?
That's all I have.
If not, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I,
Opposed? So yes, please.
All right.
Go see what you
Thank
can
you.
do. Thank you.
Keep you guys posted.
Yes, please. All right. Chris Clark, Town Fire Chief.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, Chris.
How you doing? Just a couple things. We had our annual meeting last week, I believe. We had one change in officers. Aaron Bates from Center Rutland decided to step down this year. So George Mata was elected to lieutenant for the Center Rutland station. He'll do a great job. And we put in for that grant. I'm sure you guys already heard about this, but for 30 radios. And Ted was nice enough and Billy to help write it, but we got the grant. It's worth $27,000. So We'll be
Excellent.
getting 30 new.
Nice work, everybody.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Good job.
Is there a match? Does the town
We pay for it and then they pay us back.
100% reimbursable?
Yep.
That's my kind of grant.
Way to go.
Good job.
Nice.
We got our money's worth out of the other ones.
Yes, we did.
When Billy was picking my brain when we got him, and I said, oh boy, that was a long time ago.
I was trying to remember what year we got them, but I couldn't remember, but
Yeah,
they're pretty old. So,
Yep. no, it's good. That's the portables, right, Chris?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we started in like 03 or 04, replacing them with that style.
So
Good. Does this take care of everybody on the?
it does. It'll do the trucks. It'll do everything.
Wow.
So
Good, good.
for another 20 plus years.
Okay.
Perfect.
Anything else? That's good news. Keep it coming. What else you got?
Do you have any update on your new truck?
Actually, we heard today that they're starting to fabricate the body. So they're thinking March.
Of this
So-
year?
Yes.
Good.
It was supposed to be December, like last month, but
Right, because of-
back.
I
They
think the
said
COVID messed up their whole schedule,
did.
didn't it?
It did. Then a couple
Messed
weeks
up
ago,
everybody's schedule.
they told us June a couple weeks ago. So now they're back to March. So we're going in the right direction.
All right.
Yeah, you don't want to take a new truck in the winter.
No,
Delivery of a new truck in the winter is
No.
never good.
it's too cold to be practicing.
You can't go out and practice and play with it and pump test. Yeah, it'll be okay. And you getting along all right without the other one? You're making things work.
We're making thing work. We, had a little challenge with that house fire up by past your house there,
Yeah.
but we made it work and everything went pretty smooth. So
Okay. If
All I got.
there's nothing else. Thank you very much, Chief.
Thanks,
all
Chris.
right.
Okay, Mike Rowe, Town Recreation Director, is not able to be here tonight. Oh, I found my notes from Barbara. Back to Planning Commission. I mentioned the ordinances. They are working on a survey of residents on energy priorities, and they will be coming to work with our town select board energy committee. And they're working on a new view shed simulation from Cold River Road for the Grandpa's Knob wind turbine matter. So there, now I've covered everything Barbara gave me. Anything from the rec folks? I think things are going well.
Yeah, I talked with Mike this afternoon. So.
All right. Kari Clark, Town Clerk and Treasurer. Good evening.
Hey,
My usual three main topics: taxes, dogs, and elections. Tax payment number 2 has gone by and we have received 93% of our taxes. It's good. The dog registration opened up in January 1st, and it's open until April 1st. So that's just a reminder to register your dogs. And the last thing is our town meeting. That's in the process of getting all set up. We've received some consent forms for our local election. I heard word late last week that no longer needed petitions to do so, to be on our ballot. Even though I do have some petitions. So the deadline for consent forms are the 24th of this month. So make sure to get those in before then. And that's pretty much all I have.
So even if somebody filed the petition with signatures, they still need to do a consent form before the 24th?
Yeah,
Okay.
I believe that I
You
have
got 'em.
received most
think you have to
consents
do the-
with petitions, but I don't need the petitions
Yeah,
anymore.
together? Do you do
Well,
it
I think you
together?
have to have a consent form
You
to
have to have a
how your
consent form.
name wants to appear on the
Ah,
ballot and
yeah.
stuff.
Mhm.
That's what,
Well, you always had to have both, but now you only have to have one.
Correct.
after some of us went out and got almost enough signatures.
And I appreciate it. The effort did not go unnoticed.
Kari did some calculating. We're going to talk later about cash to open and the ballot item. Kari did some calculating for us. Thank you very much. Looks like and our question to her was, how much of the cash to open did we use between July 1st and September 9th?
We didn't include the 10th because on the 10th is the tax day.
The money starts coming in then, yeah. So in 2019, looks like we used 601,000, if I'm reading this correctly. 2020, we used 389,000 and some change. And in 2021, we used 1,060,499. Kari had sent me, if you want to go through the numbers, she did a printout here, but I had sent around the email that she sent me, which is those three tallies on it.
Well, to simplify it, Kari, could you just tell us what the biggest difference between those low amounts and the million was?
I'm really glad that you asked that.
I
Sure. Can you hear me?
can't, my hearing aid toned out on this side, so.
That low amount in 2020 or the very low amount, that was our COVID year.
Yeah.
And we put a stop to expenditures for a while. That included the paving amount, and paving is a significant number, significant. So that number, which was like 300 and something thousand,
389,
did not include paving. And it also, was people weren't buying things because that was the height of COVID. Paving happened this year. And like I said, I believe it was over $500,000 that we've put out to pave. And that right there brought our total up to over $1 million.
But that was a 2-year paving amount, right?
I don't know.
I believe
think
the
you're
half
right.
of, the $500,000 was to make up,
600,000.
to make up
Paving
for the
was
difference.
yeah.
So we didn't pave the year before.
Right.
So we can't expect that it's going to be that much this year.
So I also want you to take into account, we've all talked about the budgets for next year and the increase to our salaries and in each department. So if you take that alone, it's going to cut it very, very close if you're looking for to use 500,000 out of the 1.5. And that's what we were discussing. Could we do it? And it's going to cut it really close. Really.
What would you feel comfortable with?
No, I would not feel comfortable doing that.
What would you feel comfortable with?
What would I? Keeping as is. Keeping it as is. Yep.
So I have a question, Kari.
Yes.
And I'm not quite sure on this. The money that was in the highway budget for paving for that year we didn't do it, which I believe was the 2021 budget year, that 300,000 that was there, would that not be paid by taxes on the 3 installments? And that 300,000 would be there in the highway carryover. And then when you started this year, they're separate budgets, because I don't understand why all of that had to come out of the cash to open. You would have only had to taken the portion from the 21-22 budget, which would have been 300 out of the cash to open. So that would show, I mean, the 1,060,000, 300,000 of that should have come from cash to open for the paving, but the other 300 should have been there from the year before's budget. So is there something else that jacked that up that much?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look.
Okay.
carefully.
You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
yeah,
Because
I know what you're saying.
because those are separate pools of money, right?
They are, but you know what? In the grand scheme of things, it's the general fund budget. Like, it's the general fund account. There's only one checking account that we use.
Yes.
We just designate,
Right, but
Certain
there's
money.
always that 1.5 million that's
right?
not.
Everything's all together in
Yeah.
one pool. It's
Yeah.
just,
So
is there?
I do want to just remind people about Rutland Town's in a very unique position Rutland Town's in a very unique position to even have cash to open.
Right.
Most municipalities borrow, they
Right.
have an account and they borrow from a bank. We're already well committed to the $500,000 going towards the West Rutland bond to reconsider it now, but the worst that's going to happen is we'll have to operate like other towns if there is a deficit, but we could also supplement that in next year's budget if we found it necessary.
Well, that was the question I was gonna ask, and the reason that I'm asking this question, Kari, is because I'm not a treasurer type and you are. I don't understand why, if we have cash to open, to supplement the fact that we're in anticipation of receipt of taxes.
Yeah.
Once we receive those taxes, which have been budgeted and are on the schedule, that ought to replace that money.
It does.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
It is.
So we haven't lost it.
No,
No, it's always there.
The only thing, as JP mentioned, the only thing that's going to happen potentially is that we've got some kind of a time period. We don't know what it is, maybe a month, or maybe 2 months, or maybe 3 weeks,
right.
where we have to borrow some money in anticipation of those taxes coming in.
Right. Right.
And
That,
to be quite honest, our budget is calculated on the best estimates of the 1% option tax, which have been coming in pretty strong and may very well, we've been prudent on this board of not over anticipating it and then spending money and finding out we didn't have it.
Mhm.
So we basically underestimate that a little bit, which is good.
Yeah.
But it has been strong. So we may in fact have substantial amounts more there coming in.
Yeah, that's a good point. Don't we receive a payment from the 1% tax during that period of time?
Yes, there's 4 periods.
Yeah, so that would be one of them. Okay.
Yes, I do
So
believe
good
so.
point, Don.
because that, that item has gone off the ballot. If you remember the old ballots used to say, shall the board authorize borrowing money in anticipation of taxes? And since we've had this money, we no longer do that,
Yeah.
which is a pretty good.
A question I have, and I'm not sure that there's an answer to it, but doesn't the school, isn't much of this cash during this period of time paid to get the school salaries in place and start up?
So I guess, let me think about this.
Okay,
So right when we get taxes, we hand that money pretty much 90-something% right over to the school after taxes. So it has to be after the property taxes.
So
Okay.
you don't have to use any of the cash to open to offset school salaries? The school portion, so,
No,
so it's all
Well,
municipal.
we don't pay them until we have
Okay.
because
you-
like this one right now,
Uh-huh.
it's over $2 million that
Yeah.
yeah.
we're giving them.
So, but they would have just had a big chunk from you because May 10th, they would have gotten a lot, but not needed to spend most of it during the summer, I would guess.
One would think.
Yeah.
However, there is, and I don't want to say something wrong, but there is a tax there. They do have to apply for something to get them through,
Okay.
is my understanding.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's a fix to this. And I suggested this when the town was going from a calendar year to a fiscal year.
Uh-huh.
I said that the fiscal year should start October 1st.
Well,
And then you would get your money in September before you needed it. But they didn't like my idea.
but then you approve the budget in March,
March.
and then you wait a very long time before the year actually.
Starts,
Yeah.
right, but it's
So
simplifies.
we're guessing now, it'd be even a bigger guess. I
Yeah,
don't
but
know.
it's
Pros
the
and
same,
cons.
it's the same, you're still paying for 12 months regardless of when they start, but it's just would simplify your job.
But to get-
September, you would collect your money and then you start spending it October 1st. And you would never have to worry about, anyway.
Okay,
to-
Don.
To get back to the original purpose of this, because we had tentatively decided that we would allocate $500,000. You have to look at it this way. At the very best, we're saving the interest that we would have to pay on $500,000 in the bond.
Right.
At the very worst, we do some kind of a trade-off of partial interest that we would have saved
Mhm.
in order to borrow money to replace it.
Right,
but that's the worst that we could,
right.
that we could end up.
Right.
Well,
So-
not quite, because we're not saving interest. We can't prepay the bond.
Right, we're saving.
It's not like a
taxation.
mortgage.
We're
We're just
saving
making
taxation.
the half-year installments on the bond payment.
Yeah.
We're not prepaying. We can't.
No, we're not prepaying, but
We
We're
wouldn't
not
change,
saving
But if we
interest.
allocate, a $500,000 to reduce the amount of the bond, then we're actually reducing the amount of interest we're paying.
No,
because-
no, we
it's
can't
allocated over
prepay.
payments, Don.
Huh?
It's a $500,000 toward the payments. Like we did the beginning, there was an X number of dollars, was it $1 million? Whatever we started paying
Yes,
the
we
bond
started
for,
a million.
for eight years. So all it's done is, all this is postponing that little thing on your tax bill that says Center Rutland Fire Station bond.
Right.
This will postpone it for about 3 more years or 4
Mhm.
more years.
Mhm.
We did look into prepaying.
Yeah, they
it,
won't
but
let us
they won't
prepay
let us.
because we didn't get that type of bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Well,
we're just
No,
saving the taxation.
I guess I'm confused. We're not prepaying anything because if we pay the money beforehand, we're only asking the bond for this amount. We're not asking for this to be bonded. We paid it.
No, I'm not sure I follow, but we owe, it's a 20-year bond. I think we're halfway through,
8 years,
8 years through.
8 years through.
And
12
we
more.
paid the first 8 years. Well, we paid some payments, but then we took $1 million and we put it aside so that each year about $150,000 could come out to make the payments. So we're going to do this. We're asking the voters if we can do the same thing now with $500,000. And that will cover
About 4 years.
about 4, maybe because the interest is,
Well, I don't know if the bond payment is contingent on the current interest rate. It might be. I don't know if it was a fixed rate bond, every
no,
payment.
I'm pretty sure it's fixed rate because
It is a
the
fixed, so it's the
schedule
same.
is, yeah.
So what we're doing, Don, is the first 8 years, we paid the bond payments without taxing the taxpayer. And now but the interest is always going to be 700,000. We're just going to pay that.
So we don't even have the option of picking which months we don't pay. We couldn't take the last years off, could
No.
we?
No, we're just taking this
No.
500,000
Okay.
I know,
and
I
making the
wish I
payments.
could, and we
Yeah.
tried.
Yeah.
It was like, oh.
You know, and
please.
I don't-
Because the interest will be, for
So-
sure, be
Right.
more back then.
But the thing to
Okay,
do is to look
that answers my
carefully at the
question.
new bond for the new station,
Yeah,
what our options are.
That's why I'm not a treasurer. Thank you very much. Kari.
well, I mean, your questions are appropriate, so.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for our town clerk and treasurer?
I'm good.
And I know it's been kind of crazy. Thank you very much for all your work and Susan's work in there. We appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right. Bill Sweet, Town Administrative Assistant.
Who managed to get this room cleared out for tonight.
Yeah,
That's what I
The
heard.
last time I saw it.
A couple hours ago. Yes, the town report is, with the exception of the things the school needs to change because of some last minute issues they found, it is done. I have picture we took tonight, so I'm going to substitute that in. So I've got to get it to the printers Thursday afternoon. I'll send them a digital file. So on for tonight, you have the warning. So you see if we make any changes to that. So we want to make sure that none of you leave before you sign the warning tonight, so we can have a signed copy to go into the report.
Right, so there could be a couple of changes. Bill will run off a clean copy once we've made them.
Yep.
And bring it back
Yep.
out. So don't we can, JP will share his Chanel's and we can stand around and eat cookies while, right?
I'm sorry?
No, never mind. Okay,
But other than that, it's all done. So I think should be all set. Everybody did very well getting things in.
mostly on time.
Mostly on time. Yep. Yep. And so yeah, so I started that last week and I finished it a couple hours ago. I cleared out the room. So
Nice.
we did get a whole bunch of perk cards today from the chamber for the discounts around Rutland. So if anybody would like one, I have a whole bunch in my office. So feel free to come get one. That's all I have at the moment. I haven't worked on much else. So
Yeah, no, it's just, looking through various packets. Any questions for our town administrator? Huh.
Okay.
What is? Oh, okay. Right. No, I got
All
it.
right.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right. Next up, John Paul Faignant, Town Health Officer.
The only item I'd have for your consideration is declaring whether you want to declare the meeting. I think it's on February 28th or 20, yeah.
Yep.
To be remote, to do it at this time so people can plan accordingly. The Department of Health is recommending that we do that, and the legislature has gone to remote on a lot of their proceedings. So I would make a motion that we do that motion by Zoom only.
I second it.
Motion's made and seconded to have our Monday night town meeting by Zoom only. Discussion.
I think you get more people.
Well, you get more people, and I think it's less confusing than the half and half.
Right, but and the
Yeah.
other thing, I think it's very orderly because you have to be called on or recognized to speak. You don't get a lot of, everybody gets a chance, I think. I don't know. We've done 2 that way, or 3. We did twice last year.
Yeah. Don?
Oh, I just feel bad for our town moderator, but it is what it is. He did a good job with the
He does
last one.
pretty well with that.
He's going to have a set of skills that no other moderator has,
That's right.
being able to manage a remote meeting.
Okay, so all in favor of the town meeting Monday night being remote only, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, thank you, JP. Committee meeting updates. Bill has sent around a schedule. I know we've all kind of been out straight getting other things done, so I will just,
There's a lot on those lists.
yeah. Got our chores. A reminder to town department heads and those of you who might be writing articles, and we'll get to that. The next circle deadline is February 1st, and this would be the circle that goes out just before town meeting. So it's pretty important because we're going to want to explain some of the things that we're doing. February 1st deadline, department heads and everyone else. Update on project list. There it is. It's gotten smaller, so I feel kind of good about that. And I think we discussed the pocket park a little bit earlier today. We've talked about the public safety building. I think we're going to check the warning on that in a few minutes. Anything else? Okay, moving right along. Under new business, board to approve the warning for town meeting.
Guess we gotta wait.
Uh,
It's going to be subject to changes.
Well, we are going to have to make a couple of changes. Let me see what else we've got here. Oh, I know. Let's do B and C because I think they're fairly easy. I know we've, B is the board to affirm where to apply the fire station lawsuit settlement funds, and that was $30,000 total. And C, the board to affirm where to apply the remaining Center Rutland Fire Station bond funds, which was slightly over $54,000. We
Well,
talked about it.
I thought we were going to take the fire station lawsuit, apply that to the new station, and the Center Rutland Fire Bond funds applied to the bond payment for Center Rutland.
I didn't hear.
So I thought we had decided to take the lawsuit money towards the new station and to take the remaining monies on the Center Rutland Fire Station bond funds and apply it towards payments on that
I
bond.
thought we were going to put it all toward the new station.
What's that?
I thought we were going to put it all toward the new state. Take that 54,000 remaining with the 30 and apply it all toward the new McKinley station.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
I think that's what
That
we
sounds
did.
a lot better to me.
Yeah.
All right.
So
So
let's-
I would make that a motion. So
Okay.
we're affirming it.
Okay, very
I'll
good.
second it.
Motion to affirm. So a total of what, 84,000 plus
Yeah.
will be applied to the new fire station.
You make notes like I do.
I know, I can't read them later. Any discussion? If not, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Good, thank you. I went back through the minutes and it wasn't really clear, so I thought we should do that. Okay. This ties in with the circle announcement I made a few minutes ago. No, we have several articles that are going on the warning, and we had carefully decided before the pre-town meeting who was going to discuss each, and that kind of flew by the wayside, but let's try it again. JP did a really nice article for the last circle
I
on the.
have another one for February 1st.
Okay, so JP, new fire station or new public safety station. All right, the marijuana articles.
So I wanted to address that because a friend of mine brought to my attention that part of our original plan in having that approved was that any marijuana establishment would be limited to established business areas in town. So I would make that a motion and ask that we amend the ballot items to add the words in established commercial areas to the, at the end of ballot items 21 and 22.
All right.
Second that.
Okay, motion's been made to amend the ballot items on the marijuana question on item 21 and 22, where it says to operate in the town of Rutland, you would add in established commercial areas, correct?
Yes.
Okay, any discussion? Oh, is there, and it's been seconded. Discussion.
I think it's a good idea.
No, it's a good idea.
Okay.
I think,
all in-
and that goes to the questions that came up at the meeting last week from folks about where we were going to allow it.
It does.
And this will address their concerns.
It does, because it would be a shame to lose such an important source of revenue for the town and our tax base.
Yeah, it would be balancing our taxes better.
Right. And so it makes sense that we limit it to established commercial areas.
Okay,
And maybe we can get an amended letter to that effect too. But anyways,
okay.
it was a valid concern, so.
Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of amending those two ballot items, 21 and 22, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed, so the motion carries. Good, thank you. So now with that, who wants to write the marijuana explanation of the marijuana ballot items?
The man in the opposite corner of me.
I would say,
I think you should do it, Don. I'm doing the fire station.
yeah, but he's
Well, that's
Should
all the
I-
more reason why you should write it. You probably write a better article in support of it than I will.
Somebody who has never sniffed even one whiff
Really?
should write
You
that.
haven't been in a room? No,
You
never
have
mind.
to,
I'm just saying, Don, the studies that are emerging suggest that the oil in marijuana inhibits the virus from getting into your lungs, so.
this is true. This is true.
Hey,
Okay, Don is going to write the explanation of the two marijuana articles. Thank you, Don.
What a good guy, Don.
Isn't he good?
I know. I think I should get to try it before I write the article.
Okay, well, it's up to
Okay,
you.
Chief.
Please don't try
Listen,
it just
you did
before.
the,
Try-
you
try
did
not-
the 1%, Don, so I know you can do this.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
If it's okay with folks, I would like to do the cash to open article. Is that okay?
Be my guest.
Okay. We have, let's see, the road commissioner article. Joe?
I'm not the best at putting things on
Joey,
paper,
you
but
did a
You're
hell
good,
of a
and
good job.
you do just fine.
You did a hell of a good job.
I can
in the
talk better
committee
than I
meeting.
can write. So I will talk to my personal secretary and she will help me with this. Good. She'll be putting a little blurb in there about me running for the board again.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Joey, I was very impressed, the knowledge you had at that committee meeting, because
Yeah.
as a person that doesn't know a whole hell of a lot about roads, I was certainly enlightened by what you, so. And I'm a girl.
Girls drive trucks. Well, the town won't
I'll
let
do
us-
the one on
but I don't want to drive a
recreation,
tractor trailer.
Mary.
Hmm?
I will do the one on recreation, the recreation.
Yes, thank you. I knew there was another
There's the
one.
other one, yeah.
The
Okay.
Depreciation.
I'm sitting here
fund,
looking at it.
Unless But since I'm already doing marijuana, if you want to do that one, Sharon, you're welcome.
So what am I doing?
This is the extra money for the depreciation fund for the rec department
Yep.
for the pool.
When do these have to be done?
February 1st. Is that what you just told us?
I
I wrote it
did.
someplace.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, so rec.
short window of opportunity.
Sharon. So it looks like we've all got assignments then. Okay. Good, thank you all. I'll come
Mary,
back to the
just-
warning. Whoops.
What's the form? How do you want this done? Since we're all doing them, is that something that's going to be part of a bigger piece? Or are these
Oh.
all going to be standalone?
Yes.
Freestanding, but I think
Standalone is
Janelle,
easier. Just submit it to Janelle's email.
Janelle usually has a word count cap. So although I'm pretty sure you went over it, but you know the
750.
editors.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So you just want a brief explanation of what and why? Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Okay, you guys need to, those are the minutes for the last meeting. Please sign. Just to remind you, I know it's been a while. Okay, board to review for approval, the contract with Central Vermont Communications. We've already done that.
You can't read them.
So we have two things. We have any other new business. We do have a personnel matter we need to take up in executive session. And we do need to approve the warning, and there are some other changes we need to go over on the warning. So let me start with, is there any other new business that needs to be brought up?
Here's a desecrated copy of it.
Okay, it goes right in here. Thank you. All right, let's move to the approving the warning for town meeting. So starting with Article 1, which is the general budget, there is a change because we added the additional money for fireworks, the $2,500. So instead of being 1,071,000, yeah, other people get your calculators out and just double check me on this, please. 1071127. Would help if I turned it on. We need to add plus 2,500. We had already budgeted 7,500. We add 2,100. The new amount is 1,073,627. 1,073,627. Okay. I took a look at the police fund. I believe the number there is correct. Any other additions to that? Number 3 was the highway fund, and Joe and I talked about this, and I think we figured out what it is. There are two things that are in adjustments. One was adding the rental purchase for the highway radios. The contract we just signed, we need to add that.
Yep, 2,500.
And we've added 2,500 in that. I think that's in already, is it?
Yeah, I think it's on, in this sheet I have, it's listed in here at the 1,012,211.
Okay,
And then the other thing that has
Right.
been in serious discussion is the maintenance money. There's 5 different places on this budget where it shows maintenance for individual pieces of equipment, and it totals $11,200. And after talking with the highway crew, I didn't get you involved with this, Sharon, because this was kind of an impromptu thing here. We were discussing all this, trying to figure out what that question was regarding us being short in the highway budget, and
Right.
and we've come to what that is. We've
Right.
got that
No, I
figured
know
out.
you were working on.
We got that
so-
figured out. So anyway, I think we should just have a single line in the highway budget that's equipment maintenance. and we'll plug in a number of 20,000.
Yeah.
It's an increase of about 8,000 from where we are. But we have currently spent $14,000 on the 7-yard truck and we're only 6 months into the budget. So-
Move to approve.
I
So we're
second.
adding what, Joe?
We're gonna add,
11?
we're gonna add just about $8,800.
8,800?
And the prices are gonna be higher anyways, Joey, because everything is.
Right.
Okay,
If
so
you
we're,
Get it.
motion's made and seconded to approve an addition of $8,800
Right,
for a combined equipment
maintenance.
maintenance line in the highway budget. Okay, so we've got to add 8,800 then as well. All
I
right,
come out with 1,021,011. How did you come out? Everybody
haven't
do it
added
with a
it yet because I had
calculator.
one more question.
Okay.
All right,
And then following the history, so what the glitch was in the budget that was discussed a week ago, there's $400,000 earmarked as state grants, and
Yep.
that was deducted from the amount of the budget. And so it looked like the amount we were going to, the budget was going to be like 400 and something thousand, and that's inaccurate because that 400,000 is earmarked for the culvert on Town Line Road and NA paving. There's a
Right.
200,000. So that 491,711 is wrong,
it should be 891.
right? And then we added we've just added another 88 to that. But that money is already earmarked, okay? And I don't know if we need, in past budgets, I've noticed that the state aid, I'm guessing that that's pretty much granted money, so whatever we come up with a finishing number here of, I had the 1,021,000, I don't know if we can deduct the 120 from that. Because that's what's been done in the past. If you look at previous budgets, it always shows, the state aid is deducted from the amount to be asked for by taxes. So we would be asking for roughly, 900,000,
That's kind of where I was.
about 9.
Yeah, because do you have a more exact number or is that,
Oops, I'm trying.
Okay.
1101.
that's why we got the calculators.
Yeah, I got 901,011.
Okay, 901,011.
Right, and that shows the 8,800 increase in this budget that I had with the 1,012,211 was included the 2,500 for the.
It did
communication.
include the 2,500.
That was the
Okay,
most
so-
current one that Bill had.
Okay, so can you, because I gotta change several things here that are very, very specific.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
because all the pages of the town report now are gotta change. So I gotta make sure these are really, really right. So can you just go through like each change and what's gotta be added and where it's gotta come from, where it's gotta go?
Okay, let's start at the top of the highway budget.
Yep.
Is there any change in anticipated income? I don't believe there is.
Not that I know of.
Okay. Then where would you add okay, so the next, the
So I guess,
2,500 for the radios
yes,
goes
Bill,
down under equipment rentals.
well, Bill put it in between 42 and 44, 042 and 044. That's where it's written in. So
42s.
I'm-
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing that'll get 043.
As in communications. There we are. Gotcha.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
So item 040, Bill,
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but
do you,
the budget numbers, the account numbers.
Yep.
Get assigned by Carrie and Susan.
Right.
okay,
Yeah,
So we don't touch
we don't have to worry about it. All right, so we won't worry about that.
No, no.
So so you just need a number. You don't need to see where it came out of here for your,
Well, so are you, like, I know we were talking a little bit the other day, so you want to eliminate some lines
right,
and combine them up, so that's what I need you to say, I need you to say.
Okay.
Because what I have to do now is I have to go back to the budget sheets, because these are all printed for the town report,
right.
so I need to reprint them, so I need to know, like, we're zeroing this line, I need to know so I can go back and get them done.
Yep. Okay, so I made some circles. So
Okay.
line item 040, it's a roadside mower that will be gone.
Okay, so that turns to a 0.
Yep.
Okay,
Line 041, the 1-ton truck, 2,000, that'll be gone.
that turns to 0,
042, the loader, it's 2,500, that'll be gone.
turns to 0,
046, the chipper will be gone,
2.
that 200.
Mhm.
And then 047, the 7-yard truck with 6,000, that'll be gone. And the new line will be 20,000 equipment maintenance.
Okay, so we don't know where that's,
And then where, because like we've already done this with a couple of things.
Yeah.
Yep.
okay.
So what's the total you expect to come out with?
The total that I came out with is 1,021,011.
Okay, so that's the current listed number plus the 8,800
Yes.
additional equipment. Okay.
Yep, that's what I came out. And what I don't know is if we need to deduct the 120 in, because this says not to exceed that number. So if the amount to be raised by taxes is less, then it'll be less. I don't think there's a problem, but it looks like in other budgets, they've deducted that state aid,
Yeah.
but I don't know if that's a given. You know, usually we get it, but
Oh,
Yeah.
right, okay.
so we won't have, hopefully by then we'll know. But as long as the way the ballot item's written, it's not given an exact, it says not to exceed this amount.
So the equipment maintenance is $20,000 total.
Yep.
And the others didn't add up to that, but you're proposing an additional.
Right, they added it up to 11,200
Okay,
and we're asking for another 88 to
okay,
cover our tails.
okay. So Bill, are we there?
Do you think you got enough, Bill?
That sounds good. Yes, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
so total budgeted expenses, Joe, check me, is 1,021, comma, 011.
Yep, that's what I came
Okay,
up with.
And
Yep.
then general budget is 901, comma, 011.
Right, that's if we take off the 120.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Do we do that or not?
Well,
Kari says we do it as an adjustment later.
because the amount to be raised by taxes will be less whatever
That's
state
true.
aid we get.
Okay,
And what we had to be careful is not to adjust it down to 400,000 because that money's already earmarked.
okay. So
A little
instead,
confusing, but we figured
the
it out.
amount, so then back onto the ballot item, which is number 3.
Yeah.
What we're asking the voters to not to exceed
1 million,
1 million, comma, 021, comma, 011.
Yep.
Do I have that right?
Yep.
Okay.
and the wording obvious will reflect that, $1,021,011 and no cents.
Okay,
I think that's the only budget that we had to adjust
all
and
right.
and get right.
All right, so those, do we vote on? Well, I'm gonna take a vote at the end to approve everything on the warning. Do we need to vote for that separate adjustment, the equipment line? I think there was a motion made and seconded, so let's just do it. All in favor of making that adjustment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we've done that. The fire fund budget looks correct. That's item number 4. Any changes there, anybody? The recreation fund budget looks okay. And then that's number 5. So skip everything from 6 on down to let's take a look at 19 because that is the rec department increase. And that's to be raised at a rate of 0.0125 per $100 of assessed value.
Carrie, that's correct wording this time, and we're not gonna
That's the correct
amount in decimal.
figure.
Yeah,
I used the wording from the transfer station one just check the wording of like the maintenance of the recreation equipment. Does all of that kind of wording make sense?
Okay, to be maintained and used as a depreciation account for the purchase, repair and or maintenance of the recreation equipment. Should we have equipment and facilities? Is because
Totally up to you.
if we're doing it for the pool, equipment is more than, the pool is not really equipment.
It's a
It's,
fixed.
it's a
yeah.
facility.
I
Unless
don't
you
mind,
want
that
to
might,
say,
it might be splitting hairs, but. I
no,
don't
it's
know.
the lawyer in me, you know.
Well, that's okay. That's why we have people that
Well,
ask.
Carrie's flagged it, so she's got a point.
Yeah, just didn't know how you wanted it worded.
Equipment and pool?
Infrastructure,
What's that?
infrastructure. What would, I don't know.
In-
I know what you mean.
Which,
Infrastructure.
Yeah, because yeah.
recreation equipment and infrastructure. How's that? Covers them both.
and that
Okay.
kind of doesn't, because like if we were replacing a building up there, we might use some different money.
Yes,
But the
might.
infrastructure being the plumbing, the
the
pool, the
pool.
hardware. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. That's,
Okay.
that was
All
good.
right, that's good.
Good choice
Thank you,
of
Bill.
words.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. The
All
next,
this is doing is adding to your workload, Bill.
I know. yeah. 20, shall the town of Rutland rescind its vote to elect its road commissioner for a 3-year term of office and going forward, fill the office of road commissioner by appointment by the select board. Is that your language change, Don? Do we get it right? Okay. All right. Then 21 and 22, the reference, this is the cannabis ones to which we have added the phrase at the end. Bill, I think you've got that already. Okay, so 21 and 22 have the in established commercial areas or whatever. Okay, 23 is the McKinley Avenue Public Safety Building. And
Can we go back just?
Sure.
1 minute, Mary?
Yeah.
Just so I have approval of the board. When I write my wonderful explanation of the cannabis item on the ballot,
yes,
I hope you feel it's appropriate because I want to mention that, first of all, the board is taking no position, but we feel that the voters should have an opportunity to approve such a measure. And I'm going to mention the economics of it and the fact that it's available to any community in the state based upon state law. And I also want to mention that we have added that term in response to concerns from our constituents. Is that appropriate? Is that all right?
yep, sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. So taking a look at the McKinley Avenue Public Safety Building. So first question I have is on the ARPA funds of 1,220,781.72. Did we subtract out a little bit of that we've already used for the air filter system? Okay. 9,000 is out of there.
That's correct.
Okay, all right, so thank you. Do we have any other thing we use the ARPA funds for?
Just that.
Okay.
Are you also going to talk about the other?
Cash to open?
No, not that one.
No.
With the
Yes.
butterscotch.
No, within this
The little-
article right here, the capital
Here.
improvement amount.
Yes.
Yes, that's next.
Yes,
Okay, I'll take them out.
okay, so the
Don't need
next
it, but I'll take it.
The next part of that is payment of 851,231 from the town's capital project reserve account. Now,
The question has come up
yes,
that we allocated 85,000 to recreation for the trail system out of that fund.
80,000,
80?
80.
Okay, 80. So Carrie, is this number after the 80 or before?
This number is the total. Like that is what is available in
Right
capital
now.
improvements, and that was going to be my question. Are we using it all, and are we going to account for Mike's
No,
request?
well, we've already spent 80. We've already voted to take 80 out of there. And this number, is that with the contribution from the 2021 budget?
I made sure I talked to Andrew, and this is the sweep over from our just most recent audit.
Great.
So the end
This
of
is the
June
sweep. Mhm.
21. So that's there. So we'll have to deduct 80,000 from that. And that because we've already committed 80,000. I think we kind of forgot about that when we were talking about this.
Now, and then, I mean, an earlier discussion was that leaves us with no reserve. But as Joe points out, that's just until the end of the fiscal year that we're in. Another, 5.5 months.
And then
And
there will
then we
be,
should have some more carryover from,
Right.
yeah.
there'll be some,
So,
Now, I also interject, I
Mhm.
mean, you're ready to talk about this too, but we were just talking about where to put the fire station bond and the money from the lawsuit. That should be
Ah.
reflected in this article too, because that will make this amount less. This
Yes.
total amount for the bond.
so question for JP, because do we have any expenses that we've already paid that we could, or is this 4 million, the total of everything, including some of the stuff we've already paid?
No, that's the 4 million is the projected cost of the project. The
Okay.
soft costs we are incurring are not included in that,
Okay.
except that they are going forward for construction, but not up to. The work we've done now is separate.
So back to Kari's question, that's 30,000 from the lawsuit, 54,000 left over from the bond. Do we put it toward this, or do we put it toward the cost leading up to? Like the architect that we've hired to do the designs? What do we use it for?
To use it for.
it's almost a wash, Mary. You know, when
Yeah.
you look at the 80,000 from the,
I know.
which
I
will
like
be
the
84 we're
idea
putting
of
back.
keeping it for the cost, because if we're able to save some, obviously we'll put it right back into
Okay,
I would hope we'd put that into bond payments.
Which part, JP?
If there's anything left over on the money we've dedicated towards getting this thing up to the point where we can start to put it out to bid, I would expect we'd have some surplus on the money.
Do we go to bond before we put it out to bid? Or do we go to bond afterwards?
It's in conjunction with, if
So
the
because
voters.
once you know the available cash we have, the 1,220,000 ARPA funds, and it figures out to 771,000 for the
771.
771,231 is the available capital improvement fund, and we just applied another 84,000, roughly 84,000, which is almost a wash
Yeah.
from what we took out. So once you apply those two, if you knew the contract was going to be for $3.3 million to do the job, then we would be bonding for less. That's
Much less.
so this is what the dilemma we had with the last building was. We went out and bonded, we asked the voters to approve $2 million for the Center Rutland Station. And I complained that any contractor out there is going to say, well, they got 2 million, so we're going to come in at 1,999,000. We did this with a transfer station. We told the contractors we had $500,000 to build a transfer station, and it cost us $499,999 roughly.
Well, we had a very different experience in Center.
But with Center, we
in
had the
Center,
money,
well,
so
let me finish. We came in way under.
Way under
budget
700,000.
Because the market operated like it should. There was competition among the bidders.
right, I just wondering, I would be nice to go to the voters and say we only need 3 point something instead of 4. That's all I'm thinking, but so we're just gonna have to come up with the correct numbers to fill in these spots with the changes we just made.
okay. So,
I asked,
yeah, go
I
ahead.
I wanted to add, Joe, I asked a major contractor in the area, and I won't say who, about this very thing that you're talking about. I asked him, when you already know what the bonded amount is, doesn't that pretty much set the amount? And his answer was absolutely not, because if it's a competitive bid, you can't take that chance. Because the only thing you're adding to, if you pad the bid, is you're adding to your profit. So if you've got anyone else that wants to come in and take a little bit less profit or a little bit less profit, you're going to lose the bid. So typically they don't do that. They do it on a cost basis and a cost plus basis, adding their profit margin in.
They want the work.
So his
I like-
answer,
I
his
like that
answer
ex-
was there's
Yeah.
not really a downside to knowing the amount beforehand. So,
Okay.
I like
well,
that
It's
explanation.
good information. So what I'm hearing is that the 30,000 from the lawsuit settlement and the 54,000 from the leftover bond money that we haven't used for Center Rutland should be used for the soft costs leading up to the bond and the vote on the station. Okay.
And any excess to be applied towards reduction of the bond amount sought.
Okay, well, we already voted on it. If we want to make that change, we can just vote. Do you want to make that?
Sure, I'd make
not
that a
taking
motion.
the amount, we're not going to add the amount into the bond.
Not now,
reduction.
but
No.
if there's a
We
surplus, that's
we won't
all
know
that
what
much
it is
left.
until we get it.
Right.
Okay, so motion is made and seconded that total of 84,000 plus
See, that's.
From
we're gonna-
center.
Yeah, we're gonna need to kind of know those numbers exactly, won't we, for this or no?
not for this, no,
Okay,
because we're
okay.
not putting it in.
It's not gonna be part of this.
It's not
thing.
going to be part of
Okay,
this.
all right.
Okay. So motion is for the 84,000 to go to some of the soft costs leading up to going out to bond and the vote for the new public safety building. Any further discussion on that?
Now,
Okay.
is that
All in,
over?
all in favor, please say,
Where was that?
it's not on, it's
not
not
a ballot
a
item.
ballot
It's-
It's
item.
not, no, it's not anywhere in here, right?
No,
No,
it's
this is
not.
this is a board action,
Yeah.
how we're gonna take and spend
Yeah,
that money.
because I
All
think
right.
Kari had asked us a while ago, what do we do with this? So, and we had batted it around, but we hadn't come up with something that was clear.
This is pretty concrete. now.
So motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? This is on the 84,000 plus. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that goes to soft costs. Now, back to the 851,231, that gets reduced by $80,000.
Should be about
771, 231.
231.
Yep.
Okay,
And then that bottom number, the 2,074,55028,
yeah,
we're gonna have to add 80,000 to that,
It's 2,154,550.
28.
and 28 cents.
Little slower, JP.
Okay,
2,154,550.
0.28 roughly. Okay.
okay,
And this one here is, so those, that's the changes there, and that'll reflect.
okay.
like
2,154,550.
And 28
And
cents.
28
28
cents.
cents, come on.
Oh, yeah, don't forget
Won't even
that.
buy you a stamp.
So we're,
No.
no. So,
Okay.
so pretty close to the same amount we bonded for the other building,
Wow.
Well,
10
yeah,
years
but
later.
we didn't have.
No, we didn't,
we didn't
no,
have
but
all
what
of
I'm
the
saying,
extra, yeah.
no, but
Yeah.
by
Oh, okay.
by using these funds in a very appropriate and intelligent manner, the amount we have to borrow is going to be
That's right.
pretty close to the
Right.
same or about the
Wow.
same. Once we get closer.
Okay, so
'Cause these are
that's,
not to
that's
exceed.
23. And then the last item we need to look at is 24, which is the cash to open. Carrie's given us the figures. We've discussed the numbers over the past 3 years and the variance. Are we still comfortable with moving 500,000 from cash to open over to pay on the Center Rutland Fire Station bond?
I'm taking a plunge.
I'm
I'll make a
saying yes.
motion, we do that.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Any
So
opposed?
You heard it, Carrie, so you know who to holler at.
Okay, I'm gonna,
We're gonna keep this on the ballot. right?
Yes.
yes. To number 25 was added a first constable for a term of 2 years, so that's in there.
That's in there.
And now, because we made several changes on this, I'll entertain a motion to confirm all of the changes we've made on the
So moved.
warning. Motion's made
Second.
and seconded. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor of adopting the Rutland Town warning, please say aye.
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 Aye. No votes, no votes, so you have adopted the warning. Thank you. I know that was a lot of, and thanks to Joe, who was,
Big thanks to Joe.
yeah,
You did a super job on that.
yeah, okay. I think we have a personnel, the only remaining item of business is to go into executive session for a personnel matter. That will give Bill time to go and so we can all sign the warning while we're here.
Billy, do you have enough information in where to plug the numbers? Okay.
Okay. So is there a motion for executive session?
So moved.
Motion's
Second.
made and seconded somewhere,
Yep.
somewhere on that side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are done.
Where would you like?
For person, all in favor of executive session, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're in executive session. I'm just going to put the